My name is Rob George Hyam. I'm a British English teacher, been teaching for nigh on 55 years now. And yeah, I'm mentoring schools, but I'd like to help you, young teachers, in giving you real tips and experiences and methodical didactical know-hows on how to teach, introduce the children to reading and writing in class, at the end of class 3, class 4. What's the difference? It's Rubicon. Why can't you go on like you started, with imitation, learning by heart, just having the children follow up, repeating the text? Yes, they've changed. They don't want to do that anymore. So you won't have a real, what could I call it, a kind of a follower shaft. You'll have to take another aspect. And the aspect, I think, is this new approach. It demands a new approach. It's not imitation. It's strengthening the powers of curiosity, awareness and interest in discovering the rules and the phonetics of the English language, because there are no real, what could I call it, solid rules of pronunciation. Even the grammar is very subtle and pretty tricky to teach. So imagine it's class 3, it's Christmas time, and in the following calendar year, you want to start with My First English Reader. So you sort out all the poems you've done. Of course, you've written them all down, and you've got a kind of a language passport. You know exactly what you did and when you did it, because the reports need that anyway. So you choose some songs, some poems, some prose text, maybe even a play, or jingles, whatever you like to do. What motivates you motivates the children. So you start with My First English Reader, and this is usually what I would say a little earlier than the Waldorf people really think. The children have changed too. You know, they're wide awake. I wouldn't emphasize the fact, but I wouldn't start in class 4. It's then awfully late. I would use the chance now, like I said, in the middle of class 3, and then I would write down all those wonderful poems and things, songs you like to do. Yes. And the next question is, how do you do it? So you've sorted out everything what you want to write, and you buy a big epoch book, and you've planned it now, and you copy it out. I didn't do it on the blackboard. I gave them photocopies. Why did I do that? Because the children write down lots of errors, and you've got to check the books again and again and correct them. So I told my parents, look into the photocopies, check them and correct them if you can. That saves time, my time, the children's time. So what they did, they wrote down this verse, for example, I am a farmer. This is, of course, what the class teacher did in class 3 with the professions. And the parents helped. They were involved, of course. They wanted to help too. So they wrote them down, and they underlined certain words. I am a farmer, you are a cook. But did they underline certain phonetics like farmer, cook, all the A's, the R, A, and all the diphthongs, all these words which you're going to emphasize and to talk about, you know. There are 3 kinds of A, for example, the father, cake, and There are even more, though. So you're practicing now the phonetics out of these texts. The grammar comes later. So you're writing them down, you've underlined them, and when the book is almost full, you can go again and start really to look deeply inside these things, that the phonetics of the English language doesn't exist. The words are written differently than they are spoken, and this is different for the children in the German language. So then you go into detail. And this next phase, of course, I would change the text a little bit. They wouldn't write down by heart. They would say that's not reading, that's just writing by heart. So I would even change the texts a little bit. Alternate them, change the lines if you can, without destroying the poems. And make them get the feeling, wow, it is a bit of a difference. So you can write down, you don't have to finish the book. You could write down maybe 3 or 4 or 5 verses, poems, and then go into details. And in my videos, I'm going to show you how you can develop the grammar from these verses and from these prose texts. Yes, so look into my videos.